Today I'll tell you who I think is the hottest UFC prospect for 2020 and 2021. And it's not Khamzat Chimaev. Coming up. Hi, my name is Mark Leichner from MMAcoach.net, where we help coaches, fighters and enthusiasts reach their full MMA potential. Today I'll be telling you about who I think is the hottest UFC prospect for 20 and 2021, and it's not Khamzat Chimaev. Don't get me wrong, I think Khamzat Chimaev is great and he's definitely a prospect, definitely a hot prospect. But there is another one that's flying under the radar, and it's Dusko Todorovic, a Serbian MMA fighter in 185 pounds. He comes from my hometown of Belgrade, Serbia, and I've been following him since he started doing MMA, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later, how he started and how I noticed him in the first place. What you need to know now is that he's 10-0, and he's 1-0 in the UFC, or maybe if you count the Contender Series, he's 2-0. He came into the UFC by winning Dana White's Contender Series and by defeating Teddy Ash, and that was his toughest fight. That was his only decision fight. All the rest of his fights were either submission victories or TKOs. So the guy's undefeated so far. And I'll tell you a few reasons why I think he's one of the biggest prospects. The first reason is that he only uses as little power as necessary to get the job done. So you won't see him powering through, using power recklessly. No, he uses power very rationally. So it doesn't matter if it's the clinch, if it's the stand-up, or if it's the ground. By the way, he's a BJJ black belt under Jovan Milicevic, and his coaches, Jovan Milicevic and Aleksandar Milicevic, have done a great job with him over the years. The second reason is that he doesn't waste any time on call-outs, or he's not a jerk. So you won't see him calling out opponents, talking smack and stuff like this. Not that I judge people that do that. I understand the rationale. They want to get more exposure. They want to get more eyeballs on their fights. But he doesn't do that, and that's refreshing for me. In the era of Conor McGregor, and where everybody's trying to copy him, most of the people are doing that unsuccessfully though. He's a breath of fresh air. I wouldn't hold it against him if he did change and if he did start talking a little bit of smack to get more people interested in his fights. But I don't think he will do that, and I think he's interesting enough as it is, not just the way he fights, but if you listen to his post-fight interviews, he's very articulate, and I think that's interesting enough all by itself. So his fighting plus the interviews, he's gonna do just fine. And I really hope he doesn't change, because I really like fighters like that. And you will never hear stories about this guy fighting in the streets or getting into brawls or something like that. Nothing could be further from the truth. He's such a well-mannered and nice guy. A type of guy you want to introduce your sister to. In one of his fights, he won by throwing a guy down with Hareigoshi, a judo throw. The guy had a tough landing on his arm and got injured. He injured his shoulder or elbow, I don't remember exactly. And Dusko was furious because he won in that fashion. He won in that way. He didn't like it. He wanted to win properly, but he won by just a takedown. So that just shows you what a type of guy he is. I think his background is taekwondo when he was a kid, but his main base is BJJ. He's a BJJ black belt. But on top of that, he has such a great stand-up that he's dangerous everywhere, in the clinch, in the stand-up, or on the ground. And I've never seen him in trouble in any of his fights. The toughest fight, as I've said before, is against Teddy Ash. It was a tough fight, but he controlled it well. He did receive a few punches here and there, but generally it was all about him. I remember taking my guys to his club to spar, and that was in 2010 or maybe 2011, and we went there to spar, and I remember I was already retired, by the way, and but still in good shape, and he was only started training, I think, and he was about 17 or something, and I remember him giving me a much better sparring than some of the established pro fighters in that club. He really went after me, while some of their pro fighters were trying to talk to me during sparring, so the sparring wouldn't really get going. Although I don't hit people hard in sparring, I just try to dominate and not hurt my opponent. He was doing something different. He was really going after me. Of course, not with hard punches, but he was going after me. He didn't talk at all. and he really made a great impression on me. And after training, I praised him a lot, and I remembered him because of that. And soon enough, he was starting to fight in amateur shows. Then he went into pro, and I was following his career. He's very, very good. A very nice guy, plus a very, very good fighter, which is a combination I like. In his last fight, he had a great performance against Dequan Townsend, and I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce this name correctly. And you can find his post-fight interview there, so you can listen to Dusko a little bit and see how articulate he is. Can he become the champion? I don't know, but I think he can go far. Another factor is injuries. He talked about in the post-fight interview, he talked about being injured, that he has to heal some injuries, some old injuries. I hope he does that. I hope he doesn't get re-injured. And if that doesn't happen, I see him going far. How far will it remains to be seen, but he has all the tools. I like it. I also like it that he's very analytical. He analyzes his opponents with his team, and he does what he's supposed to do. So pure technique, pure analysis, great physical attributes, very good skills. So it's all you need, and a nice guy on top of that. What do you think about Dusko Todorovic? Do you think he can go far? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, like it and share it, and you can also subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like a more in-depth MMA training, check out my instructionals. My name is Mark Leichner from MMAcoach.net, and I will see you again very soon.